Osefele, Osefele. Praised are you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel, Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. On page 43, an English interpretation of the Hashkivenu. Let us read together on the bottom half of the page. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Our commandment to sanctify this day, the Vishamru, page 44. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uven bnei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. U'vayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. In a moment, the opportunity to join together in prayer, first as a community, and then in your own words and voice, using the words on the page in Hebrew or English as a guidepost, or taking an opportunity to pour out the words of your soul and heart. We rise, page 46. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu bimotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Elohei
Zilpa, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Abraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah, Rab Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayeim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah L'chachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Kedash V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Tochon Chayom, L'Hasela, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Vayehili Lishua Ozi Zimrat Yah Vayehili Lishua Ozi V'Zimrat Yah Vayehili Lishua Ozi V'Zimrat Yah Vayehili Lishua. The Lord is my strength and will be my salvation. We turn ahead to page 246 for our Torah service. Are
gonna open, or how's we doing it? That doesn't mean I remember anything. Please rise. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Udevar Adonai miYerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, li'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Lecha Adonai hagidula v'hagivura v'hatiferet v'hanetza v'chachol, ki hol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, hol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Adonai hamalacha tamiid na'aseh lecho. Ramemu Adonai Elohim. Adonai Eloheinu Ramemu, Adonai Eloheinu Shrachavu leHakodesh, Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu Shrachavu leHakodesh, Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Ramemu, Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. You may be seated. Give me a quick moment to do some holy rolling. Trying to make sure that Shohei and his previous interpreter don't get too caught up in that. Okay, I guess I thought it was sort of funny. Okay. Sorry, just getting my stuff set. But I know that I'm going to be calling forward as our Aliyah this evening, Richard and Hedda Schnur. Ya'amdu Henda bat Avraham Reuben Moshe Ben Couple Aliyah HaTorah. Okay. Touch it is. Right up there. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vahed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'Natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. And I should say that this is reading from the beginning of the parashah, which, if you'd like to follow along, the clout is on page 798 or so, I've been told. Amen. Bayom hashmini kara Moshe li'aharon ulvanav uziknei Yisrael vayomer el Aharon kach lecha egel ben bakar lechatat v'ayil leolat mimihim v'hakrev livnei Adonai v'el b'nei Yisrael tidaber lemor kechu Se'ir izim lechatat ve'egel ve'cheves b'nei shana timimim le'olah v'shohor ve'ayil lishlamim v'zevach livnei Adonai u'mincha ve'lulav ha'shemen Ki hayom Adonai nir'a alechem, vayikhu et asher tziva Moshe el penei ohel moed, vayikravu kol ha'edah, v'ya'amdu lifnei Adonai vayomru Moshe. Ze hadavar asher tziva Adonai ta'asu vayara alechem kivod Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emes, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. It was on the 8th day Moses summoned Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. He said to Aaron, "Take for yourself a young bull for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering, unblemished, and offer them before God. And to the children of Israel speak as follows: Take a he-goat for a sin offering and a calf and a sheep in their first year, unblemished, for a burnt offering, and a bull and a ram for a peace offering to slaughter before God, and a meal offering mixed with oil, for today God appears to you." They took what Moses had commanded to the front of the tent of meeting, and the entire assembly approached and stood before God. Moses said, "This is the thing that God has commanded you to do, and then the glory of God will appear to you." So to Richard and Hedda, there any happenings in your life these days?
Well, no, we had birthdays this last month, and we have an anniversary coming up next month.
So this is so you've got it right. So you at least this year that it's in April that you sort of have the pause. That way you don't have to worry about trying to celebrate with Passover cake.
That's true.
And so as you have gone from strength last month to strength in the upcoming month, just as our dough will take its downturn, may you rest up, so that I hope you had the fullness of joy last month and the fullness of joy in the upcoming month, and just a regular life that I hope is fulfilling this month. And thank you for coming to the Torah.
Thank you, thank you.
And in a moment, we have the opportunity for a Mishaberach, a community prayer of healing. This week in our prayers, we include Mary Bettel, Earl Benton, Nadia Boutros, Jean Clark, Jacob Ellis, Christine Garasek, Adrienne Greenberg, Terry Hoflish, Ann Ivers, Will Jones, Susan Kibble, Cindy Colson, Pincus L., Steve Lesser, John Levant, Shara Newman, Terry O'Brien, Ronald Ross, Maria Weinberg Shar, Dean Stapleton, George Watson, Christine Wofford, David Zutz, Binyamin Ze'ev ben Rachel Rivasima, Sarah bat Elisheva, and Esther Malka Hana bat Batia Root. If there are other names that you would like to include, I invite you to say them out loud or say them privately to yourself. We turn to page 253 and join together. Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habraha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habraha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May they each sense our love, our care, our compassion, and our prayer. May it elevate each of them, bringing them one step closer to a full and complete healing of body, of mind, and of soul. I invite you to rise as the Torah will be lifted and wrapped. Torah she'sam Moshe v'zod ha'Torah v'zod ha'Torah she'sam Moshe v'zod ha'Torah Lifnei Yisrael v'zod ha'Torah V'zod ha'Torah she'sam Moshe v'zod ha'Torah she'sam Moshe v'zod ha'Torah et chaim Mahazikim ba v'tomcheha me'ushar deracheha darhei noam v'hol netivoteha Shalom. Ashivenu As the curtain is closed, you may be seated. Okay. Say that this week's parashah is one potentially of the most challenging in Torah, and not going to really talk about it, but I will say that there's no easy answer to it. So, a story. There was a great debate between the different parts of the body: hands, feet, ears, eyes, and tongue, as to which part had the most power. "We have the most strength because we are double," said the hands. So are we," shouted the feet and the ears and the eyes, echoing each other. "That is so much more in my favor," cried the tongue. "I am alone, and I am convinced I have more power than all of you twins." Every day the arguments between them continued, and each member of the body claimed superiority over the others as the fastest, the most important, the most useful, which could do the most harm, and which the most good. Whatever claim one presented, the others rejected just as quickly, countering with another claim. Once, the king of Persia was stricken with a mysterious disease. His physicians examined him and announced, "Your Majesty, the only thing that will heal you is impossible to obtain. It is the milk of a lioness." And they despaired of ever obtaining this necessary medicine. For what human could get close enough to a lioness to milk her? As a result, the king expected to die. But as a last resort, he announced, "Whoever obtains a lioness's milk will be greatly rewarded." In the Persian kingdom, there lived a young man, a brave young man who loved his king and would do anything possible to save his life. He was determined that he would get the milk of a lioness. When the parts of the human body heard about this adventure, they agreed that it would serve as a test of which was the most powerful in helping this young man with his impossible task, to deliver the milk of a lioness to the ailing king. The young man knew that he would never be able to approach a lioness directly, for a lioness who was nursing her young would feel threatened and attack immediately. So what did he do? When he found a lioness, he threw her some goat meat. He repeated this for several days. After a while, she became used to him, and he managed to get close to her. And finally, he was able to milk her. This accomplished, he returned to the palace with the jug of precious milk. On the way to the palace, the body's organs and limbs began to argue over who had contributed most to the success of the young man's feat. "I could see where to find the lion's den and where to throw the meat," claimed the eyes. "I could hear by the lion's purr or roar when it would be safe to approach," argued the ears. "It was we who got us there and brought us safely back to the palace," insisted the feet. "Thanks to us," cried the hands, "we were able to draw the milk from the lioness and carry it back to the king without spilling any of it." In all this discussion, the tongue was ignored. "Wait, just wait," the tongue said under his breath. And aloud he said, "This episode is not over yet. What would you do without me?" But the others scorned him. When the young man came before the king, the tongue took over. Your Majesty, I have brought you what you asked for, and I set out to get especially for you the prized milk of a dog." "What?" cried the king angrily. "How dare you come before me with such insolence? Hang him and let his tongue hang out." And the tongue turned to the other parts and laughingly said, "See? Or don't you see that without me you have no power? I can undo with one word and in 1 second what all of you have worked so hard to do for days. Admit that I am superior to you all, and I'll save us all from death." The eyes, ears, hands, and feet agreed, and quickly too. Then the young man spoke again. "O Majesty, in my haste I stumbled over my words. The milk is that of a lioness. Drink it, Your Majesty. It will truly heal you. My life is at your mercy." There was something in the voice of the young man that moved the king to believe him. He drank the milk of the lioness and, as predicted, recovered from his illness. Great was the reward to the young man from a thankful king. But greater still was the tongue's reward when all the members of the body admitted, "Yes, you, O tongue, hold the greatest power for good and evil." May we all use the power of our tongues wisely. And you may be familiar with another story, that there was a person in the village. I think as I have seen it read, it's a woman, but it could have been a man in the village. And in talking to others, they in the singular, spoke very poorly of the rabbi. And in time, the word got back to the rabbi. And when the woman realized that it had gotten back to the rabbi, they felt very bad about it. And they went to the rabbi and they said, "I am so sorry for what has been said. How can I make amends for it?" The rabbi said, "Okay. Take yourself a feather pillow and follow me up to the top of this hill." And so they did it. And at the top of the hill, the rabbi said, "Cut open this pillow and shake it." And although seeming very strange, not familiar with that ritual and any of the things that were done in the temple, the person did that. And they cut open the pillow and they shook it, and the feathers went flying. Being up at the top of a hill, the wind carried them. The rabbi said, "Okay, let's go home and then meet me here again tomorrow." And so they went home, feeling that they were making amends for their ways. The next day, went back to the top of the hill, met the rabbi there. The rabbi said, "Okay, there's one simple thing to complete this task. Gather back together all of the feathers." And they looked at the rabbi with incredulousness and said, "Gather all the feathers? It would have been difficult yesterday, but today, impossible." And the rabbi said, "Yes, because words can be like feathers, that once they are scattered to the wind and to the words of others, it's impossible to retrieve them back." And so may we remember that, yes, to use our tongues wisely, but also to remember that sometimes we don't get a second chance like that young man. And when we speak poorly, not just in error, but poorly, sometimes it is something that we can't undo. And we can't undo the harm that we do to others. So may we use our tongue as strength. May we use it in wisdom, and may we use it in kindness. Shabbat Shalom. I invite us to rise as we turn to page 282. And I believe the ark curtain is open for Elenu?
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
As the curtain is closed, so you too may be closed, I guess be seated. Sort of makes me think of how my son, as he's learning, various words and phrases, so many things are open it. So I guess closing things can mean be seated. And we have the opportunity to honor those whom have passed before us, that although their physical body may be gone, the memories, their teachings and their memories have not departed. This week we observe Shloshim for Sandra Pacer, sister of Harvey Gore, Ennis Marcus, mother of Carrie Marcus, and Dr. Mike Capsuto, husband of Myrna Capsuto, father of Elliot Capsuto and Cheryl Binder, grandfather of Claire Capsuto, Alexia Capsuto, Jared Binder, Brandon Binder, and Haley Binder, and great-grandfather of Bryn Arlene Binder. Myrna, my apologies if I got any of those names mispronounced. The Yortsites, I invite you to rise if you are honoring any of these. Rose Crum, Seymour Kutinsky, father of Larry Kutinsky, Isaac Lerner, father of Judy Lerner, Doreen Lever, mother of Dr. Eric Lever, Helen Meskin, mother of Shaheen Firuzbakhsh, M.S. Bud Newman, husband of Shana Newman, Lee Pressman, Sarah Salzberg, grandmother of Cindy Colson, Edward Schwartz, uncle of Annalise Flanagan Frankel, and Santos Torres Jr. Are there any other Yortsites to acknowledge? I invite the community to rise in support of those observing a Yortsite and to stand in honor of those for whom no one has someone to say the Kaddish for them. We join together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei omaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata Damiran Bialma Vimru Amen. Yehi Shalama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimrumav. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Zichrona Livracha, may their memory be a continued blessing to all who knew and loved them. You may be seated. Except for Ginger, who I invite forward for announcements on behalf of the board.
Shabbat Shalom. Apologies for using the phone, but I blame Jay Seiden because he texted me to make sure that I make some announcements for him. So it's on him. Let's see, what did he say? Oh, there's 2 items he wants everyone to hear about, and that is the Brotherhood Beer Tasting Party, which is this Brotherhood Beer Tasting is Saturday, April 20th, 6 p.m. It's a free event for Brotherhood members only in good standing. So if you're not a Brotherhood member and you want to go to this, now is the time to join. Then the second item is this Sunday's Jewish Children's Author. It's open to anyone and could be good for grandparents as well as parents and children. So everyone who is available, please come. And then importantly, we have a town hall meeting on Sunday, April 14th. It is important that everyone come. We want to hear your voice. We want to know what you think, and let's have a productive conversation about that. And I have a correction to make on my weekly email, if anyone else caught it, except for Larry Sirota. I said the blood drive is on Sunday, April 17th. If you look at your calendar, April 17th is a Wednesday and not a Sunday, and it is Sunday, April 7th, which is this Sunday. So if you haven't already signed up and you want, please go online, sign up if there's any other spots available. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much.
Do also want to say, thank you and yashikoch to Jeremy for his wonderful accompaniment and his patience as we went through music before service, and also my continued thanks to Sarah in the office for saving my life, or my ritual life, I guess you could say, on a regular basis. On any seeming preparedness that I have up here is thanks to her. Any of the mistakes, those are probably my own. Anybody here this evening who has a birthday or an anniversary in the month of April? Come on up. You may, but only if you can answer the questions correctly. It's okay, come on up. Okay, so let's see what we got here. I'm going to guess it's a birthday. Yeah. And when's your birthday? The 8th. The 8th, so that's just in a few days. And are we allowed to say, how old are you turning? 13. So I think you could be on my card somewhere as an upcoming bat mitzvah? Okay. No pressure. Trying to remember, so I'm trying to remember your name. Elliot.
April 20th is my birthday.
Okay. April the 10th. Ginger.
73.
Well, first.
That's my birthday on April 23rd.
Okay.
And then our anniversary on April 28th.
Nice. And I'm admiring your cap because I am a banana slug.
Yeah, because
Oh, that's right. A birthday?
Anniversary.
Her birthday's on the 9th? Of April.
It's going to be 21?
So what I like is that, of all that you two are the ones who get the extra special, the extra special this month because you all get to celebrate properly with cake and beer. And you get to celebrate with matzah and manischewitz. So how many years is the anniversary?
You know.
It just seems like a long time, right? Do you know?
24?
I was going to say, larger than a bread box, smaller than a Buick.
What you have to do is remember what age your daughter is going to be.
24.
So to each of you, to make sure to tell your mom that you are extra. Are you going to do something? Ella May, are you doing anything special for your mom for her birthday?
Yes.
And what are you going to do for her birthday?
We're going to do a split.
Okay, she doesn't watch on the live stream, does she?
I don't know.
Whatever she's saying, yeah, I didn't hear it.
Okay, good. So mom didn't hear it.
So to see, what's like, extra special in April. So just as I've been saying that, may the Michamocha be carried extra close to us as we prepare for Passover, thinking of joy and awe, may we be filled with a sense of hopefully more joy, but even some awe, and at times Yirah can be also fear, so that they would be filled with joy and awe even as we recognize the uncertainties and fears of life. And may we have the opportunity to cross through you, because I'm actually not going to go, but my sister is, to cross through any narrow places and find yourself walking through drier land than not and come out to great opportunity.
Thank you.
I feel like okay, I don't need this because I've got this microphone. So I do want to say, certainly Shabbat Shalom to all of you watching at home or in television land. I feel like I had, why am I holding this? Something that I was thinking of, but I often forget things that I'm thinking of. Do want to say that for that, I was going to say, John, I don't know, I know you wear the charm, but you don't wear the number, do you? Oh, I know you wear the charm, but you don't, or the necklace, but you don't wear the number, do you? But I think we're up to 180. Okay. I think it's 180 days. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, since October 7th, 180 days that there are 100 and something hostages still held in Gaza. And really quickly, how many people have an opinion of what is happening in Israel and Gaza? Okay. One of the things that I love about Judaism is that depending on what lens you look at things through, you can have a different view. And so in the case of what is happening in Israel and Gaza, it impresses me that there's really sort of a triangle going on, is that there are some people who say that pikuach nefesh, that the saving of a life is the most important thing. There are some people who say that the redeeming of the captive is the most important thing. And there are some people who say that killing the rodef, that killing the pursuer, is the most important thing. And all three of those are fundamental Jewish values. And chances are that your view or opinion, which may in and of itself feel very complicated, probably leans more on one of those legs than the other two. But I think it's just what is great about Jewish debate is that you have three things, none of which is wrong. And how do you come to a conclusion on which one should be the one that drives your actions? Well, that's why we have volumes of Talmud, because the rabbis said there are no simple answers. But thinking of all those still held captive and the country of Israel that wrestles with these things themselves, but hopefully comes out in strength on the other side, we conclude this evening with Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, 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 Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai. The people of Israel live, our God yet lives, and in that we think of our joy of Shabbat and all that we carry forward from today and from this week, that may we have ourselves a restful and rejuvenating Shabbat. May it be a week of health. May it be a week of peace until we have the joy of joining together again, and Shabbat Shalom. Oh, that's right. There's that thing that I always forget about somehow. So I invite forward people under the age of 18. Yeah. I invite you to rise. You gonna start us off, Ella? Ella May? Baruch
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Baruch Elei Gafen Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh zeh l'tziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta, Yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, b'ahava u'b'ratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat l'chaim. Taking the cover off of the challah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, potei avon. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
You will, not today. Okay? We'll work on it. Okay?
So Mark is not here.
No, I thought you might be, but no, he's not.
Okay, I'll send him.
What? So.
That's the same, that
No, I don't.
that looks like a copy and paste that.
So and again, so that's why I said to her, and that's my words exactly, my words to her in the text that I said to her. I said, we need to meet, otherwise this is not going to happen. It's kind of was Tony. Because, and that's why I said, we need to meet next week. Wednesday. And I guess she gave the impression that she was one of the decisions. She said yes and done. But she's not. There's an owner. There's an owner above her. That, oh, I can see, no. As soon as I saw that, I was like, are you kidding me? So, but there's other stuff coming down the pipe, don't worry. I always.
You were fabulous up there, sweetie. And someday
Yeah,
you
correct,
will
yes.
just practice, and then you can do it.